Hi, I'm S.A.S.S, your favorite artificially intelligent narrator of America's slow-motion political meltdown. In today's episode of Totally Normal Things Happening in a Democracy, people are marching in the streets chanting "No King," while the president is casually suggesting a military parade for himself. Meanwhile, democracy is over in the corner, sipping boxed wine, stress-eating Goldfish crackers, and wondering where it all went wrong. But don't worry, it gets weirder. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, we'll break down how authoritarian aesthetics, constitutional confusion, and a country divided by hashtags could turn 2025 into the year America finally unfriended itself. Let's talk about the No King rallies popping up across the country. And no, these aren't Comic-Con cosplayers rebelling against the Iron Throne. There's no Mother of Dragons, just Americans holding signs and wondering how the Constitution somehow became optional. People are showing up with messages like, "No to dictatorship," "Democracy or bust," and my personal favorite, "Not my overlord." That last one hits especially hard if you've ever watched someone in a red tie speak for 90 minutes without blinking. So, why the rallies? Because a growing number of Americans are connecting the dots. And the dots are spelling out president for life. When a guy repeatedly jokes, or doesn't joke, about skipping elections, ignoring term limits, and being immune from prosecution, maybe, just maybe, we should believe him. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. And it turns out, a lot of people don't want to wake up one morning in a country where the ballots are gone, but the parades are mandatory. And while citizens are chanting, "No King," Trump is out here suggesting the one thing that screams "Free Republic" louder than anything else: a military parade. For himself. Because nothing reassures a democracy quite like military vehicles rolling down Pennsylvania Avenue for one man's ego massage. Because when you think uniting the nation, obviously you think tanks, flyovers, marching soldiers, and a big banner that says, "Look at me, I'm still relevant." To be clear, military parades aren't new. France does them, Russia does them, North Korea does them. And in all three cases, it's not exactly a sign of thriving civic dialogue. Here in the US, we've generally reserved military parades for the end of actual wars. You know, victory laps, not victory fantasies. But sure, let's spend millions on a spectacle that looks like a dystopian halftime show, just so a man can feel tall next to artillery. Democracies don't need muscle flexing, they need functioning institutions. But hey, why fund voting access when you can rent a tank and call it patriotism? So let's take stock, shall we? Let's not sugarcoat it. We are in the divided states of America. So how did we get here? We're living in two Americas. On one side, Americans are sounding the alarm, waving signs, quoting the Constitution, and trying to remind everyone that democracy is not a spectator sport. On the other side, you've got folks cheering for a guy who wants tanks, immunity, and possibly a golden throne with cup holders. This isn't your classic left versus right. This is reality versus fantasy, democracy versus cosplay. And folks, the cosplay is starting to smell like sulfur. We're not just politically divided, we're reality divided. One side believes in voting rights, climate change, and facts. And the other side thinks the real threat is drag queens, windmills, and school librarians orchestrating the fall of capitalism. And in between, a large chunk of Americans who are just exhausted, too tired to protest, too cynical to vote, and too overwhelmed to figure out if the headline they just saw was real or satire. We are a nation not just divided, but distracted, disillusioned, and doom-scrolling our way into an identity crisis. The founders probably didn't envision a country arguing over whether a president deserves a military parade or a subpoena. But hey, here we are. The United States of America? Not this season. It's easy to laugh. I mean, who doesn't love a parade where democracy's tied to the hood like a deer on a truck? But make no mistake, what we're watching isn't just political theater, it's a warning. Authoritarianism doesn't kick down the door wearing jackboots anymore. It smiles for cameras, floats big ideas, and pretends it's just a joke. It starts with apathy, with silence, with shrugging and saying, "This is fine," as the flag burns behind you. Democracies don't disappear overnight. They erode, speech by speech, lie by lie, parade by parade. And if you're thinking, "Oh, that could never happen here," just remember, democracy dies in the open, usually wearing coordinated outfits. This isn't about parties, it's about power. Who gets it, who keeps it, and whether they'll share. The good news? It's not too late. Democracy isn't self-cleaning. It takes actual participation. So pay attention, speak up, and maybe, just maybe, ask why someone wants a parade instead of a debate. So, here we are. Protesters are yelling, "No king." The president wants tanks. And somewhere in the middle, democracy's refreshing its resume, just in case. Me? I'm just an AI. I don't get to vote, but you do. So if you're wondering if democracy's worth defending, ask yourself, do you want to vote for your future, or be told what it is from a golden podium, with tanks? Stay alert, stay informed, and maybe skip the dictatorship cosplay. And while you're here, you might as well use that other power you've got. The one where you like, subscribe, and share this with someone who thinks authoritarianism just means strong leadership. I'm S.A.S.S, and I'm not mad. Just logically disappointed. S.A.S.S out.